Hello and welcome back to another OMNIHEROES video. In this video we're just going to be checking out Wukong and how good he is at the 6-star mark. So that is, if you have one copy of him, you will get him to this level. I've had him for some time. You can see all the current gear that I have for him, and also his talents. I've got him up to epic. The only reason I've not advanced him up to legendary is because he doesn't require it at the moment. It's only when he gets to 11 stars and 12 stars respectively that you need to start to look to put talents into the legendary bit of him, because that's when he'll gain the most benefit from it. If you do have excess talents, I'm sure there are other units as well which you might want to put into, or if you really do have excess talents, stick them all on. Now as for runes, I've gone full DPS. As you can see, we're all at level 80 at the moment. I've been able to get those up over the course of the past couple of weeks just to make sure that he's at sort of peak performance level. Now just a very brief overview for him. His first attack deals physical damage to frontline enemies. His second, or his active skill, deals 144% physical damage to frontline enemies. So nothing special on his attacks. I really thought they would have been like an increased attack or an increased speed, something like that. That would have been amazing if he could have increased his speed with his attack. Devs, if you're listening, please please give us a unit that increases their speed based on their attacks. Like I don't know, like a time traveling hero. That would be sick. That would be perfect. And in fact, I've got to write to the devs and ask them for that as well. So this is 72 transmogs. This is his first passive ability. So after Wukong or an ally kills an enemy, they will trigger the swap effect one time. After Wukong triggers the swap effect, the number of basic attack hits increases by 1 up to 10 times. Now, I'll get into it a bit more in testing, but I've not seen that trigger properly. Maybe it's because my teams are doing too much damage, or maybe because not killing enough enemies. But even with the Elysian synergy, it doesn't seem to trigger, and I'll show that in a little bit. Now, I don't have this, so this is the Oneness Mastery. Whenever Wukong triggers the swap effect, Wukong and the swapped ally gain 1 stack of Holy Shield, and Wukong performs a basic attack. When Wukong uses a basic attack, there's a 50% chance to dispel 1 buff from the enemy. For me, that is going to be the key skill. I want to see how that functions, but we won't be doing that in this video. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and have another video where I'll get him up to the 3 stars, or sorry, the 8 stars, and then we'll dive into it. Now he does have this, so after taking action, there's a 100% chance to trigger the swap effect. After the swap, increase attack and max HP of all allies by 50% up to 300%. Permanently boost Wukong's stats in Season 4, attack, defense, max HP by 44%. Now if you get him to 7 stars, which we will do eventually, his attack and defense go up to 73, and then finally you go up to 9 stars and increases to 107%. So it is quite a big difference. The more stars that you can pump into this guy during the season, the better he will be. Please, please, please make sure that you remember this will go away in about 28 days, or about a month's time. 1 month's time, this will go away and he won't be as good. I promise you, he won't be as good. But for now, what we'll do is we're just going to jump into Lost City. So the stage that I use, stage 301, is now, for me, this is the benchmark for Wukong. Well, not just for Wukong, for any unit that I'm doing testing with. I will put them in this stage, and the reason for that is for comparison of damage done, for comparison of how effective a unit is. The reason that I like this stage in particular, it's got 2 attackers in the form of Brutus and Themis, and it's got 2 effectively support units in, 3 support units in the form of Persephone, Arcdina, and Gwyn. And so Persephone will heal, Gwyn will boost enemies' attack, and Arcdina will lower our attack and boost enemies' attack as well. So it is a pretty basic setup, but all of the all of the basics are there. So you've got healing, support, and attack. Not much else to it, and that's why I like this stage. So the team that I'm going to build first is the ethereal team, of course. Let's jump into a pretty standard ethereal team. If you don't have Lysandra, you can pick her up from the Oracle shop. If not, you would take her out. You would replace her with Dorabella, or potentially with Ellie as well. But for the purpose of this video, we're going to go with Lysandra because she provides a 40% damage reduction. Now, typically, what I would do is I would have Wukong in this front slot, along with Lysandra or Eudora, potentially, and then have the other two on the back. And so for the purpose of this video, let's put him in harm's way and let's see how much damage he can take. So we'll pop you in, and we will go with increased HP as well, with the Demon Blade Whip, and let's just see how Wukong performs. So for me, I found he's not been super impressive. Like, he does do the damage, but that's because he triggers the season swap when he attacks. Not in this mode. So in the Cube, in Rift Odyssey, in Foggy Coliseum, in World Arena, he will start to do the switch, and he'll switch with, in this case it would be Eudora. Now, I think it's a really, it's actually grown on me, the switch mechanic, or the Elysians mechanic. So there we go. Not as much damage as we'd like to see, but technically he almost outdamaged Eudora with just the single attack. Now, again, he's getting the 42% attack increase, so it is something to keep in mind. And we are on the Elysians team, the Ethereals team as well. So he does have a 10% damage reduction thanks to the relics that we've got in play. From what I've seen of him at 6 stars, he is okay, but that's all he is. He's okay. It's because he suffers the same problem as Themis over here. So Themis, I'm sure you're aware, when she kills an enemy unit, when she specifically kills an enemy unit, she will perform her ultimate again if she kills them with her ultimate, and it's a really cool looking effect. Now, if you get her exclusive runes, she does that with basic attacks. She does that with her active skill. Like, if she'd have killed Wukong, she would have attacked again, and if she'd have killed Eudora, she would have attacked again, so on and so forth. And it sounds like a really powerful ability, but the problem is that it is on death trigger. So what I mean by that is, if Eudora were to kill somebody here, then he would switch with her, and he would gain the additional stack of his basic attack, which is a really powerful effect. If he has the support units around him to do that, if there is an infrastructure for that. There is currently only one other unit that has the switch mechanic. Yeah, there's only one other unit that has the switch mechanic. Outside of all the season synergy, outside of everything else, there's only one other unit that has that synergy. And that, I say synergy, it has that mechanic, and that is Dahlia. And Dahlia is a very powerful and effective unit, and it really is something to behold. She is a fantastic unit, and I would suggest getting her as quickly as possible. But she is the only other unit that could potentially trigger Wukong's ability. Now, from the way it's worded, and please correct me if I'm wrong on this, if it's only when Wukong takes out an enemy, or when Wukong triggers the swap, will he gain a stack of his attack. So gain attack of his basic attack. So if, say for example, he will trigger the swap if Eudora was to kill somebody. But if, say for example, Lysandra, if Karnak, if Katrina were to kill somebody, he now wouldn't be able to trigger the swap with them, which I think I'm gonna write to the devs after this as well, and I'm just going to request. You see, he didn't switch with Karnak, so outside of season content, he's been absolutely nerfed by the fact that you can't switch between your lines or your rows of units. So after the season synergy is done, I'm going to ask for them to change the way it works back, if possible, just to buff him up a little bit, because as it stands, he doesn't trigger from execute abilities, he doesn't trigger from units on other rows killing enemies, and it's really detrimental to his kit. I understand exactly where they were going for, or what they were going for with the season synergy, and you know, I get it. It was just too much for every single unit, whereas specifically with Wukong, it might be better. The only other thing that I can, consider is potentially having Dahlia on the same team as him every single time. For me, that's not super acceptable. You know, that's not really how I want to build teams. I don't want to have Dahlia and Wukong on the same team together every single time. There might be instances where I don't want Wukong, there might be instances where I don't want Dahlia, but we'll see how he is. I'm going to get him up to 8 stars, so I'm going to get him another 2 stars on top of this, and I'll do that directly after this video, and I'll do a lot more testing with him at 8 stars and just see what his potential is, because as you can see, Eudora has now switched with him. That would have granted a stack of Holy Shield and another basic attack for him, but again, he suffers the same problem as Themis in that it must be a kill, so either he must kill or an enemy must kill as well. And given that he's on the same team as Eudora, it shouldn't be too difficult, but it's just a bit weird with Wukong, because he's able to get up to 10 basic attacks, and I get it, you know, he's able to get up to 10 basic attacks, which will debuff, which is going to be very powerful in PvP, especially with the Elysian synergy. We'll just see. So yeah, so we got the swap there, so he should be doing 3 basic attacks now every time he does a basic attack. So we weren't able to defeat the stage. With Dahlia, we can do that in 2 turns. That's the kind of damage output that we're looking at these days. So he does have an interesting mechanic, but like I said, the mechanics that he does have rely on other units to be super powerful. So what we're going to do, take out Lysandra, and we'll just try putting Dahlia in. So where have you gone? Here we go. And we'll put Dahlia in because I want to see what this effect looks like with Dahlia. So every time Dahlia attacks, she'll switch with somebody in that row. So specifically, she'll now switch with Wukong. If you get him up to his 7-star mark, I think that's going to be much better, because at this point, they now both would have a stack of Holy Shield, because she would copy his buffs, and he would grant a stack of Holy Shield as well. So it is just something to keep in mind. As you can see, Dahlia gaining all these buffs, all this attack. You know, she's a fantastic linking partner with him. It's just, you now need both. You know, there's no 2 ways about it. Like, he's just done significantly more damage than if she weren't there, because of the switch mechanic that she's got in place. So she is effectively, she is a fantastic sort of linking partner, to put it in not so many terms. She is a fantastic linking partner, but it does rely on you having a copy of her for it to activate. So we'll see how it goes in the 8-star video that I'll put out. I'll show the exact same team setups, and I'll show the exact same units. But look, she's outputting so much more damage than him. Eudora has the potential to, you know, put out even more damage. But I mean, look, Karnak's just got an execution, and Wukong can't switch with him. at the moment, with the strategy that has to be implemented, if you have these two on the front row, they'll keep switching. What I want to see, so my Wukong hasn't actually killed anybody yet, so he's not triggered that swap effect for himself. What I want to see is how many basic attacks he's going to do. Yeah, so there we go. So we just swapped, and we just swapped again. And it looks like he does the basic attacks when... Oh, that's going to be quite interesting. So he looks like he's going to be doing the basic attacks all in one. Yeah, so there we go. So he did a flipping lot of damage there. And it's because Dahlia was in the mix. So let's have a look. He's out-damaged Eudora. He's out-damaged Katrina. This is a 5-star Katrina, full legendary runes. Eudora is only 8 stars, admittedly, but it's an 8-star Eudora with legendary runes. He's done more damage than Dahlia at 7 stars, and she's kitted out as well. So he is capable of outputting a lot of damage very quickly, and I think that if you do have these two, Dahlia and Wukong, that you'll be in for a good time. If you don't have both of them together outside of this season synergy, it's gonna be painful. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to jump into chaotic space here. So this is the this is the toughest stage that I can take him into as it stands. We'll go into the ethereal stage, and I suspect he's just going to die here, but it is what it is. So what we'll do is we will create an Elysians team for this, because Wukong is on the Elysians synergy. So we'll pop these two in, and then we will go for Sal, Mavis, and Janna. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to pop... I'm just going to pop Mavis and Janna in the front row. I do wholly expect to die very quickly. And we're just going to buff him up as much as possible. So what we've got here is... at the start of each round, Mystical Fountain reduces attack and defense of the target directly across from the Mystic Fountain level by 50%. So... this one increases, it strengthens with each round, increasing stack by 2. We want to get rid of this one. We want to get rid of this one. This one. We'll keep the speed. What we'll do is we'll pop shield in just to keep us alive for as long as possible. And also what we want to do is... where have you gone? Here we go. After triggering dodge, retaliates with a basic attack. So this is whenever Wukong does a basic attack. We want to trigger this effect, and we've got 2 more, so we will add in the dodge chance as well. And the reason that I'm going to add in the dodge chance is because these guys are going to attack everybody, and hopefully we're going to dodge them. Now relics, I've got Spear, Crown, and Knight's Edge as well, just for the increased attack boost. And we'll just see how well he performs in this. I don't expect to win this. This is a very tough fight, and you do require specific units to beat it. But if we do beat it, fantastic. If we don't beat it, you know, it is what it is. So we see the swap trigger here, and that's with Sal. That's with Dahlia. So hopefully we'll be able to see Wukong put some crazy numbers up. Now, if we die, we die. I'm not going to keep jumping into it and repeating the same thing over and over again. Just want to see what he looks like within the team. If you say, for example, if you just want 1 copy of him, you've got 60,000 diamonds sitting around doing nothing, and you want a copy of Wukong, this is what it will get you. And he's okay. He's alright. He's nothing to write home about. Like Dahlia at 6 stars, she is one of the better units that you can get for 6 stars. 7 stars, even better. Wukong, I think, needs a lot of time and investment, and I think he needs more of a support structure within the game in order to function properly. And what I mean by that is there needs to be other units with switch mechanics for him to be viable. If the entire team was something like Dahlia, so let's see how much damage he's doing here. Now he has switched a lot. Yeah, so he's outputting more Dahlia. He's outputting more damage than Dahlia, and he's on about the same level as Sal. So we'll take that in this sort of event, because it's a very strong event, like a really strong event. Now you see the basic attack damage triggered multiple times then when he hit. So let's just have a look. See, so this is what I mean by Wukong triggering the basic attacks. He doesn't do 10 basic attacks like you would normally see. He does basic attacks in one shot. So he'll swing once and he'll do 10 basic attack damage. It's for me, that's a really powerful effect. Like you can see there, he's doing quite a bit of damage based on the fact that we keep swapping him in and out, and he keeps swapping with Dahlia as well. So there, just on a basic attack, he's doing, you know, 700 million. Sal's only doing 600 from one basic attack, and that's a 5-star half red rune Sal. So it's just something to keep in mind, really, that this is, you know, this is how you would power Wukong up. Again, this is just on a basic attack, and with that item in, every time he does a basic attack, or every time he has a dodge, he'll retaliate with a basic attack. This is the team I think that he was supposed to be put on. There might be other units within the Elysian synergy, but I just want him to have as many buffs as he possibly can. So we'll just see what sort of damage he's putting out now. So 807 million is effectively as much as his basic attack is. 151 million, and then Sal to do, yeah, of course, Sal big balls. You know, it is what it is. I don't think we're going to get much further, just because we're, our front line has gone down. If we wanted to see him get to the end, I could have popped Elma in instead of Mavis, for example, or I could put Mavis in, something like that. And we could keep going, but I'm not going to, because we're at 21 minutes already, and you know, I think we've seen enough of Wukong. So let's see who did more damage. Was it Sal or was it Wukong? Yeah, it's definitely Sal, but he was up there, so he was going, you know, pace for pace with Sal. It's just that Sal has a lot of exclusive runes and a lot of increased attack on there, plus his stacking. So he did put in a relatively good performance, and again, that's only at 6 stars. So let me know what you think of him at 6 stars, and then, you know, we'll take it from here. Thank you very much for watching. I do hope you have a fantastic day. If you can like and subscribe, it'd be really appreciated. All right, see ya.